Hello and welcome back to Middle-Aged Moto. Hope everybody's week has gone well. Just checking in. I'm on a Saturday ride. It's about 8:30 in the morning and about 78 degrees and lower humidity. So it's definitely a nice ride today. But today I wanted to just talk about, I've been watching a lot of different videos, and I'm on a lot of different groups on Facebook, and there's a lot of misconceptions about the Streetfighter, and it's coming from a lot of people that probably it appears that they've never actually ridden one. And so today I want to talk about, is the Streetfighter V4, V4S overkill for the street? And just kind of dig into that. There was a post put up where a gentleman put a picture of a Streetfighter and a Monster 1200S on the post. It was a monster for him. He's undecided on what he wanted to buy, so he kind of threw it out there. And the mixed emotions, you could tell the people that had never ridden a Streetfighter or had very limited time on them, and that was just going by assumption. One guy actually put down, the bike is horrible at slow speed, it's uncomfortable, and etc., which couldn't be farther from the truth. And I'm not the type to really start a piston match on a everyone has the right to freedom of speech. I've said that in past videos, but it was all my power not to say something at first. And then what I ended up doing is making a pretty neutral comment, but just still making a comment. I basically told the guy that was requested, that did the original post, go ride both, because you'll be very surprised. I've owned both, as most of you know, and the Monster 1200S is a phenomenal bike. And yes, it may be a little bit, it's plenty of power, let's put it that way. All right, it's plenty of power for the street. It thrills you to no end. And but when I've said this before, when I got my Streetfighter, or when I was contemplating it, I actually said it to the guy, my sales consultant, which is a Ducati owner and a Ducati nut. He's the ambassador, and he's the whole 9 yards. I just said, I was in there getting service done on my Monster, and I told him, I said, I really like the Streetfighter. I think it's a gorgeous bike, but I don't want to have to rev the crap out of something to get anything out of it. And he's like, no, listen, the power comes on real low. The max power comes on at higher RPM, but there's plenty of power. And I also asked him how the bike was at slow speeds, and he said it's fantastic. I usually cruise 60-70 miles an hour out here, but I've ridden, riding through my neighborhood, riding through downtown, I've ridden all these places. The bike is shockingly tame until you really, unless you want it to be untamed. It's absolutely shocking. So, is 208 horsepower is the power of this bike, definitely, is it too much for the street? Overkill, I should say. Of course it is. To be honest with you, in my opinion, the Monster's overkill. A little 500 on the street, especially the way I ride, would be plenty. But any gearhead out there knows that bigger is better. There's no replacement for displacement. So the bigger the better. I don't go bragging to people about it, but it's very manageable. But when I want to get on it and get that rush, because that's why we accelerate the way we do, we want that rush. There's a feeling that you get, that just separates you from reality when you're accelerating. It makes you feel free. It's why we do it, or at least why I do it. When I do blast down a back road, it's just that feeling, that adrenaline is it's irreplaceable. And that's just, that's why I love it. Yeah, sure, I could do that on my Monster. But, there's a lot of bikes on the street that are overkill, because bikes have gotten more powerful. You got H2s, and you got Super Dukes, and you got all these bikes, the MT10. All these bikes are really overkill for the street. They really are. I don't really, at my age, have any plans of tracking this, and I didn't get it with those intentions. Barber Raceway is very close to me, so they have Ducati days and track days galore, and the local Ducati club is a huge presence there. So I could go, you know, anytime I want to go and race that they're racing. But I really don't choose. I used to race I've had several cars that I used to track in Daytona. It's fantastic, but I kind of like that middle of the road. I like to be able to go, you know, fast enough that I get the adrenaline rush, but not fast enough that it's work. And anyone that really does that knows what I mean, where you got to be really precise, and it's work. And you might even call it stressful. You know, I love speed. You know, as I've gotten older, I've reduced the need for speed, but I still love to, you know, get on it and rock and roll. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, you know, in my opinion, this bike is overkill for the street. But you know, when I got on this bike this morning and I was riding, and I was thinking to myself, I was getting, you know, acclimated, getting in the saddle, getting comfortable, you know, like getting in the zone for your ride right in the beginning. You know, I just woken up like an hour before that, so it was just kind of groggy and everything. I was like, this bike is so friggin' awesome. I keep saying it out loud. I'm like, I just cannot believe this bike. It's absolutely, it's the best bike, my favorite bike that I've ever owned in my life. And I've owned some pretty badass bikes through the years. I've never been this enamored over a bike as I was with this bike. I've had R1s, I've had VMAXs, I've had cruisers, I've had all kinds of stuff, but I've never been that enamored with a bike as I am with this. This thing is just, it ticks every friggin' box. I don't understand it. It's comfortable, it's fast, it sounds fantastic, it's gorgeous looking. I mean, the only thing that I would say, you know, is if Ducati kicked up, now I really haven't had major problems, I've had the minor stuff, but if Ducati kicked up their damn reliability and started working out some of those bugs, you know, maybe life would be even a little bit more, but you get what you get. So I wanted to make this video, short video, just to kind of touch base and say, hey, I hope you got something out of it. It's more of a, you know, more of a ramble than anything else. Really, to be honest with you, I came out today and really didn't have a topic. I was just going to go ride, and I was going to do a video tomorrow, but we've got some inclement weather coming, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to ride tomorrow. So I figured just to get a video out as I was riding, I was thinking, and that the topic just kind of came to mind. So if you guys have any questions or want to know anything, or a topic that you'd like me to maybe research and talk about, you know, throw it in the comments, and, you know, let me know what you guys want to see. You know what I mean? If there's something that, you know, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to put it together. With that said, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my ride and go home and have some coffee. So I will talk to you all next week. Have a wonderful week.